Tracy's garage with this 1947 Ford that he's building, and he asked me to come by and lend a hand with some of the fuel injection, and it's something I've never done. This is a Phytech bolt-on system for a standard carbureted type engine. So just reading through the basic instructions, I think it only needs like 4 wires to run, so it should be pretty simple. Hopefully the goal of this video today is to show us putting this thing together and making this truck live and breathe today. Anything you want to add?
Nope. I just appreciate you coming and helping and putting another set of eyes on it.
He definitely doesn't need me. I just came to film it, that's all. We'll get it going. Let's get it going. All wired right, when you turn the ignition on, that'll be hot. Yeah. And then it reads through the ground, I think, but...
Ready?
Yeah. I don't hear anything goofy happening.
Nothing. I've got a battery kill switch.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's no juice yet. Did you flip it? There you go. I don't see anything melting on my end. Power. 12.5. So now, let me check this. You turn the key on, this should be hot. And if it is, all we need is gas in the starter. Yeah, that's it. It went. So whatever they did so far is right, or whatever you've done. It's like 11.96, which is about what you'd be resistance-wise time you get there. Okay, turn it off, and we'll just leave this battery connected for now, because if anything's going to go wrong, we'll know while we're standing here.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So we don't need that coil either, do we?
No, we won't need it because it's going to be on top of the other one. Let me guess, you made that bracket so it sits there all nice and happy?
Mark did.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, you still have to do a relay for your fan, but this is not power. This would be the ground. The ECU will make this a ground, completing the fan circuit.
Okay.
So yeah, this is your fan relay ground trigger. And it said this white wire needs to be hot. Oh, okay, yeah. Hot when cranking, which would be, I'm assuming, starter call. Hot when cranking is starter call. Right, that's the only one that does that. And the minute you let go,
It dies.
that wire's dead. Yeah, well, I don't know if it needs to be all the time. Oh, okay, it does. That white wire has to be connected to a switch 12 volt, must be on both during key on and cranking, but do not connect it to the coil. So, where will we get that? There's another one. You can't use the cigarette lighter, that's always hot. The AC heat is the key on.
It's off.
Turn the key on. Now crank it. Yep, it kills it. We're gonna have to make that somehow. Do you want us to wait until you come back to fire it for the first time? Have you been spending hours on this thing?
Well, I prefer, but I just want fucking run.
It'll run. We'll see where you're at if you're too far gone.
Yeah.
Here,
Fuck it, I'm just gonna go get this deer meat and I'll be back. I'll
Okay.
get any Moses later.
I want to introduce you to the people that watch this channel. You're
Perfect. I'm live on TV.
You're live. This is our buddy Mark. He's been working on this. He's the one that made the bracket that is over there in the trash bin now. All right, we'll see you in a bit.
All right.
So my main problem right now is I'm trying to figure out which wire is hot when the ignition is on and also hot during cranking, because the Phytech says it wants that. Everything in this harness kills power to the circuit when it's cranking, and I don't need that. So somehow I just need power on when the key is on all the time. this again. The on-off, which that's what this white wire is. It's on and off for your ECU, the computer that's built in. It says connect this wire to a switched 12-volt circuit. Must be on during both key on and cranking. Do not connect to the coil terminal when using an external CDI box, such as an MSD6A or any other CD ignition. We're not using that. So I can use that pink coil wire. Why would I not? It says don't connect it to the coil terminal when using an external CDI or any other CD ignition. Fuck a CD. Yeah, we're HEI, right. So those are different letters, which means it's probably okay. All right, well that's what we're gonna do. Because one thing for sure, when we hook up the handheld, if there's anything it doesn't like, it's gonna tell you that. It'll be like, no, or it'll go up and puff smoke. I better check to see how much those cost. The cam turns that, right?
Yeah.
The gear on the cam. So how are you supposed to, is this not the right distributor because it's a different cam? It's a newer engine?
I don't know what year.
When they changed the pump drive to a slot
Right.
or driven off the cam like this.
Let me.
This is what came out. This is the one we need to go in there for the EFI. And right now, that's not going to work. That's literally the only thing stopping us from making this run right now. If you drop that in, plug the wires in, turn the key, get fuel up here, it's
Distributor.
running.
Yeah.
It will run. This is all it needs. Connect this to the tach. This is the trigger for that. This is your AC high idle, which you don't need right now. We've already powered the pump. This is main power to the computer. That's it. It will run. It'll come right to life. It's got oil in it?
Yes.
Yeah. That's all we need. The stuff I deal with is always distributorless. They're new motors, Coyote engines, you know, the Hemi motors, all modern stuff. This old stuff, especially when you're converting it to a fuel injection system, I'm not 100% sure how to make this work, other than I know this distributor is wrong, so we got an HEI out of a newer one, but it's driven by this slot. So either we left something in the other engine that we pulled this off of, or this is absolutely the wrong distributor. But either way, they just ran back to look inside the other engine to see if maybe we left a part down in there that drives the oil pump off the cam gear or something. But anyway, I'm sure there's an old Ford guy out there that's like, aha, you're an idiot, it's this or that and the other thing. This is out of like an 88 or 89. This is, I'm not even sure, probably predates me, and that's really old. Oh, well, that's good news. All right, see you when you get here. I was just informed that they found a piece that may actually fit this engine and drive that other distributor, which means we're going to make fire. So they think they have the piece, and if they do, and that's solved, this goes to the tach portion of the HEI distributor, this goes to power, and this gets plugged into coil power feed, and then this is our handheld computer that is going to do the initial setup. So it should just run. The thing should run. Once we get fuel up here, it should run. Is that assembly lube?
Yeah.
So it'll break up when you're in there. It's axle grease.
Sure.
It's for a trailer. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with more lube. That easy. Where you been all day, buddy? You move your number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Because the order is the order.
This is number one.
Now it is.
That might be a problem.
Not for today, it ain't.
It's not touching.
Yeah, but doesn't the cap go over that?
Oh yeah, the cap does go over that. So you know what you do? You put a rag in that hole.
Just turn that.
Oh yeah, there you go. Because you're only gonna, if you time it, you're only gonna move it a little bit. Grind the end of the cap or grind this. This is a big thick fitting. You know, just
That's
hit it.
precision fitting right there. Yeah. Now if you're, see, you did it right. You put the hex in the exact right spot where we needed it. I planned this ahead of time because I could see the future.
That's not very close. We'll just get a grinder or a hammer, one or the other.
Beat it to fit, paint it to match.
And you can't see it from my house.
Those did go this way, didn't they?
These two go this way.
Yep.
Up against the firewall.
Yeah.
There's one.
So this will read the tack, the RPMs.
Yeah,
Correct.
it gives live data. It should give you, it'll give you temperature and RPM, manifold absolute pressure, and it'll also give you fuel pressure, I read.
And so now we need plug wires and gasoline.
Yeah, I was ready to power it up. I'm like, turn it on, turn it on.
Shouldn't need much in it because it's a sump. Figure out which post that. We gotta figure out which post this
Activation wire
wire
goes onto the,
Well,
to close this solenoid.
yeah, no, this goes here because this is powered to the,
All right.
I just have it sitting there so it doesn't touch anything. This one, well, all we'll do, we can just turn the ignition on the start, and I can touch it. And if it starts it, it starts it. If this system's doing what it's supposed to, there we go, look at that, magic. Main menu, no power, there. Oh. It did things.
It primed and turned the pump on.
Yeah, I heard it, which means it pumped fuel up to whatever,
Yeah.
at least there.
I hear fuel.
It squirted. Okay, so initial setup, engine. Hey, connected, 8 cylinders, engine CID. Is this a 302?
289.
289, 290, we'll just pick a number.
Close enough.
Cam, mild through wild, 1 through 4, do we know?
I'd just say mild.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you want the rev limiter? 7,000 RPM? Let's go 9,500.
I don't think I'd spend an hour.
Well, I mean,
I'd probably say at the most 6,000.
you think that's good for these motors? I don't know. I have no idea.
At
I mean, I run snowmobile engines and motorcycle engines in the 13,000 range.
the most. A little tighter tolerances.
Yeah. 6 grand, you say, huh? All right. It's already reading temperature. Screw it. Anything on any of the revolving pieces?
no, the only thing hooked up is the alternator.
Anything that's gonna melt or get caught?
Hope not.
Let's try it. Starter. Is that the starter? Needs shimmed or something?
Yeah, something's hitting it somewhere, it sounds like.
It definitely ran. I don't want to, do I keep leaving it on? Because that doesn't sound right. The starter needs to be shimmed or it's sticking or something. Should look underneath, make sure there's no fuel leaking. I don't see nothing. Right? Doesn't it sound like starter to you?
Yeah, but it, we had it off and was trying to find out where it was hitting because when we were turning over, and then there isn't anything other than.
There's no witness marks? You can't see what's happening?
No. Well, we were just turning over by hand So
Trying to
now,
find the rub.
Right.
Now it's
Now
turning
maybe.
faster, so it sounds worse.
Turn the key. I'm gonna see if I can throttle it once or twice. Maybe it'll clean up.
ready?
Yeah. I smell fuel like crazy. Good. God, it sounds terrible.
Something's not happy.
Something is not happy. And did you show oil pressure?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's dropping back down to 20 right now.
which is okay.
It was clear over.
I tell you, now that it's ran though, we could probably pull that starter and find
And see
find
what
the
those
rub.
are. Yeah, let's figure out what that noise is, because that is to me it sounds like dry bearings. I'm sure it's not. I mean, I smell clean burning exhaust. Like if that was a carburetor, I'd say we hit it pretty close.
Hey, the headers are warm.
Oh,
I hit that with the grinder.
This here.
Yeah, and then I hit this when I was grinding that. But I didn't grind that, Tracy. Right here it is. It's right here.
You didn't do
I
that
did
part?
not grind that.
And then hook. I want this back on so I can look at magic things that occur. Sounds better.
May have to move that timing just a little bit.
Yeah.
Plus, we don't have a vacuum advance on this timing either. We should probably put a vacuum hose on here.
You have to cut a T in somewhere, or steal it from the trans and put a. See if something occurs. The starter's not hitting anymore, and it's spraying fuel, but I don't think it's timed right because I'm watching some fuel get dumped down in the bowl. That noise. Are we sure it's starter? It's almost like you'd have to haul the bolts out and turn the starter so it's not as deep in the teeth. Is offset. In which case, if I could just get it to idle and we're sure that noise is just the starter, I don't give a shit. That starter's old. It can chew that starter up as long as it doesn't chew up the plate. I would like it to run though.
I've got it advanced as far as we can on that cap. We'll take more off the bottom of that cap so we can turn the distributor.
If you think that's what it is, this doesn't have any data for ignition timing. It gives me RPM. That's all it does.
You want to pop that cap and clean a little bit more of that off so we can advance it a little bit further?
Well, whatever it is going to show witness marks now because we had it idle. That's all. The motor's good though. I can hear it coming out of the pipes. It's not noise. If you heard metal pieces, you'd hear it. Like the noise we're hearing is flywheel starter combo. This engine probably needs a proper map written, which honestly I think I would have to go online and learn how to write that map. But it runs. It idled.
Yeah.
I stopped it
And then
because
idle down.
yeah, and we're not even to the warm idle yet, which you can change. It runs. Just let's lift it up and see what that said to us. Maybe let it cool off a minute. So what these guys are doing right now is they are taking the bell housing bolts off because we're going to pull the transmission. Because the flex plate is hitting the starter, will not release it, and the torque converter is not fully inserted into the pump. Therefore, running the engine is not going to do anything except wreck shit.
Don't put the blame on us.
Well, didn't you assemble the truck?
No,
Okay.
no, we are fixing other people's screw-ups. Apparently, that's the way this is going.
Well, that's the reason it's here, because the guy that owns the truck knew that you would go through it and make everything right. And that's why we're not walking away from a noisy starter, because this is the problem left to Tracy and Mark by someone else. Remember when we had it running a few minutes ago, there was a noise, the starter. Long story short, the torque converter is not fully inserted into the pump on the trans, so they are separating the bell housing. We're gonna drop the trans, reset the flex plate and the torque converter, and hope that there's no damage left to these guys by the people that dropped this truck off. So word to the wise, be aware what's happening when you take on someone else's project. How do you feel about all of this, Tracy?
How's the old song go? 1 step forward and 2 steps back?
That's exactly right.
I wish somebody would give me 3 steps.
Well, let me set this camera down. I'll help you. Hold on.
Easy. Catch it right there.
Kind of on the pipes over here.
You want me to just pop and train? Well, pulling train line's gonna leak fluid.
Yeah, no, that'd be all right. We'll get through we just have to spread the exhaust. It'll go. Like this side's almost there. It's just the dipstick, and then this is right there. That's all it is. Yeah, sure. That's you. You can go down now.
Okay.
I'm holding it a little bit. I don't have all the weight, but I'm holding it. Yeah, it's coming. It's just that. All right, good. There we go.
Doesn't matter.
All right, I'm coming my way.
You ready?
Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
You good? Yep.
Okay, here's the short version of actually what took place. Not only did we have an incorrect torque converter inside this transmission, we also had an altered and all boogered up separator plate between the engine and the trans, and we couldn't tell until we unbolted it that it had been welded and altered. This all combined made the starter never fully release from that engine, and that's why we had the problem that we're having. So you unfortunately don't get to hear this thing run today, and you don't get to hear it do a burnout inside Tracy's shop. But as soon as everyone gets back from the holidays, that's what we're going to do, and you'll see it on the next episode, Grenade Motorsports. Thanks. I'll see you soon. Just go to the